What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Thursday DealDriven app webinar. You know, this is not Julie. This is Barry. So I hope everybody's doing good. If you're on this call, turn your cameras on, please. I need to see faces. I need to see the warm faces. Thank you, Bob, Miss Jill Fordsman, Marsha Fuller, Thurman Bowes. All right. What about the rest of you guys? There you go, Ron. What's happening? Richard. Hey, Richard. Are you cold? I was gonna say yours cold.
No, I work in an IT room that's very cold.
Oh yeah, I understand. They keep it sub-zero down there. I know. I used to work in IT. Yeah. So, all right. Got who? John on here. Val Weber up in Milwaukee. I know it's cold up there.
Indeed.
Yeah. DJ Williams in the house. What's going on?
You the man.
I don't know about that. I'm coming on Thursday to hang out with you guys a little bit, taking Julie's place on this call. And I hope everybody who's on here is doing well. We got more people rolling in. Most of you people I know, some of you I don't know. And does everybody on this call already have the DealDriven app? I mean, if you do, just, throw 100 in the chat for me. Put a 100 in the chat. If you have the DealDriven app, got one person? That's it. Nope, there we go. Okay, nice. So, and those people who don't have the DealDriven app, throw a 50 in the chat. Throw a 50 in the chat. I'm trying to see who I'm working with today, so I know what to do. We got one. Cool. Thank you, Jill. Richard, thank you. All right. We got some brave souls out there, so that's good. All right. So again, welcome to the DealDriven app, the Thursday version of the what I call Tech Tuesday, Tech Monday. I dubbed that name a long time ago. My name is Barry, and I got Chloe, who's riding shotgun with me right there. And then I got Bob, who decided to hitch a ride with me today. So we're going to go on this journey with the DealDriven app for each and every person on here. Let me know where you're calling from. Just put in your state. Hey, CA's in the house. Put it in the chat. Let me know where you're calling from so I can, get around. Got Georgia's in the house, Chi-Town, Cashville, DC, DMV, Temecula. Okay, I know where that's at. Long Island. Nice. So we got a wide variety of people on this call. Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Hey, we're talking about. So what this call is for those people who have the DealDriven app, and we're going to go into a little bit more of how to utilize it, but it's also for people who have not taken the plunge, who have not tried the DealDriven app. And so for you guys, during this next hour, I hope that you will take the chance to, grab a hold of the DealDriven app. If you haven't taken it or if you haven't signed up and got an account, we do have, is it a 7-day free trial, Chloe, or is it a 14-day?
7-day free trial.
7-day free trial. So Chloe's going to put that in the chat. It's going to be the link. You can always try the DealDriven app for 7 days for free. No charge. Get to test drive it, get to see how it works. After this call, I hope you guys will take advantage of that, those people who don't have it. The DealDriven app is one of the best real estate apps out there. This thing's very, very powerful. It gives you a lot of data, and you'll see that once we go through it. And then for those people who got it, I know you was like, well, Barry, I've gotten it. I've been using it. I want to make sure you take advantage of everything that's in the DealDriven app. Okay, there's a lot of features that we don't talk about that you could be utilizing with the DealDriven app. And there are some features that, you could either take them or leave them. Okay, so without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump into the app. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. But before I do that, is there anybody on here who does have it? And they have a question. Okay. Let me see here. There is somebody in the chat who just left one. Okay, Val, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I have the DealDriven app, but to be honest, I haven't used it much and I want to get started on it. I wanted to see how you do a skip trace.
Okay, I'll show you that.
Okay, great, thanks.
No problem. RH Investments, got your Zoom hand up. Thank you for that.
Yes, I was hoping that we could go over one of them, the pre-foreclosures that are popping up in my search.
Mhm.
When I look into their notice of default date,
Mhm.
some of them are actually showing 2022,
Yeah.
like August.
Mhm.
And so I just want to make sure that I'm looking at actual currently pre-foreclosures. And I also have one that has an auction date that happened in August of last year. So I
Correct.
just want to make sure I'm looking at that correctly.
Yeah, no problem. I will show you that because a lot of people have that question, and I'll show you how you know you're looking at the most updated information. Okay, because sometimes auctions get postponed. Sometimes people do loan modifications, but it does not translate with the court or the public records. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'll show you that.
And also,
Thurman.
I was hoping
Oh,
that we
sorry.
could go through one little number crunching for one of these properties when we get to it, if that's possible. I hope so. I've
Yeah.
had the worst luck with technology this last week. Hi, Chloe. It's Renee. I made it. Renee from Mayberry. Good to see you again. Mayberry, Denver.
It's Mayberry RFD. I know where you're from.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll go through that, Renee. Okay.
Thank you. Awesome.
All right. And Thurman, what you got, bro? Now you okay, first you got to take yourself off of mute. I see your lips moving, but I don't hear nothing come out.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, first, I wanted to say I want to have go over a property that I have, and also I did some skip tracing on some buyers, and I'm trying to figure out how to get the results. Where do I go to get the results?
Gotcha. We'll touch on that too. Okay.
All right. Good deal.
All right. Cool. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. All right. Okie dokie. Can everybody see my screen? DealDriven app.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you. I'll go ahead and sign in. All right. So whenever you first sign up with the DealDriven app, guys, and you open it up, this is going to be your dashboard. This is where everything starts and ends. This is the beginning of your journey driving through the DealDriven app. Okay. And so one of the things that you want to do when you first get into this is go up here to the circle with a question mark. When you click on it, it's going to open up another box and it's going to say, watch the onboarding video. And the onboarding video is just a basic overview on things that you do most frequently in the DealDriven app, such as skip tracing, pulling list, driving for dollars, adding list, doing postcards, and all that good stuff. You can always watch that 24/7, 365 because it's in the app itself, as well as training videos. We have training videos within the app itself, but we also have a YouTube channel, the DealDriven app YouTube channel. So you can go there and watch some of the latest videos as well. And then you also have what we call Get a Guided Tour. Now, this feature is one that we don't really talk about, but basically you can get a guided tour of the DealDriven app just by clicking on that button, and it's going to ask you, what do you want to do today? And it steps you through the process, such as find foreclosures or vacants in my area, add properties, send direct mail, create a mailer. That's just a couple of things that it will show you how to do it. And it'll step you through. You actually fill out where it says, put your property address here, go here, and it'll step you through the process on these things just to get you familiar with the DealDriven app. Okay, that's pretty cool. One other thing on here is see description of features. And so if you want to know what something is, so if I click on it, this one is no longer there. Okay, so they took it out, but they didn't take it out, right? So don't look at that one. All right. So once you go through that, let me hide that. Once you do the circle and go to the onboarding call, you can actually start using the DealDriven app with no problem. But in this case, I'm just going to go through a couple of things that you're going to use the DealDriven app for and show you how easy it is to actually create a list, how to skip trace a list, right? How to create a list when you do driving for dollars versus just pulling a list that you want to search for, maybe pre-foreclosures or vacants. I'm going to do those things on here, and then we'll do a couple of properties and try to evaluate those for you guys, okay? So let me get this out of here. Now, whenever you're out driving for dollars, does everybody on this call know what driving for dollars is? Yeah, I see the heads go up and down. Okay, cool. All right, so anytime you have the DealDriven app, right, when you're out, and this is a mobile ready application. It is a web-based application, so you can't go to the App Store and download it. Okay, it's not that kind of app. It's a web-based app. You can go to Play Store and download it and have it on your phone, whether it's a iPhone or a Android, you can have it that way. But mainly, if you're using your laptop, your mobile device or iPad or whatever pad you use, just type in app.dealdriven.com in the browser. Make sure you're using Chrome because that's the optimal, what do they call that? Google Doc, whatever. It's the best browser, excuse me. It's the best browser to use on this, okay? So use it with Google Chrome. But anyway, if you're out there driving for dollars, this is the one you always click on. This box right here, it says look up properties by GPS or address, or you can go over to this right here where it says point, click, search properties. They both go to the same place. You can do either one. So I'll click on it and it's going to take me to a map. Okay. So if you're out there driving, by default, when it comes up, it's going to pop up in a neighborhood in Georgia because the person who created the DealDriven app lives in Georgia. So when you're out there driving for dollars, the first thing you want to do is you want to go over here and you want to click on your navigational arrow. When you do that, as long as you got navigation enabled on your device, it's going to actually find you on the map. So this is where I'm at right here. And you'll see all the neighborhoods across the street. And so when you're out driving for dollars, guys, all you're doing is if you have your phone, the little car is going to follow. It's going to go. You're going to be driving down the street. And let's say I'm in this neighborhood right here. And you can see I've already checked a couple of these. When you see these little circles with colors in them, they look like Jolly Ranchers. If you look down here, this is the legend, and that'll tell you exactly what types of status or what types of properties are represented by these dots. Okay, so I have a pre-foreclosure here, and I got a lot of non-owner occupieds, meaning the owner doesn't live there, but they're probably renting it out. But if you're driving down the street and you're just driving, right, and let's say you find a property that fits what you're looking for, vacant property, a property that shows signs of distress, somebody may be living in, may not be living in there. It doesn't really matter as long as it fits what you're looking for. First thing you want to do is tap on the map. When you tap on the map, it's going to pull up the property card. Okay. Now the property card has a whole bunch of information on it. Just this right here is worth $1 million almost. Say when you can get all this information on the tap of the map, just click on it, tap it, touch it, and you get property address, an estimated valuation of the property, how much equity they have in the property, the last time it was sold and for what price, what type of property it is, subdivision, you already know what that is, and the owner, and the last time this was updated, which was 20 days ago. Okay, so this information was updated 20 days ago from public records, from the county records. So this information is pretty much accurate. Now, when you're out there driving for dollars, you don't want to just get one property, okay? You're going to drive in a neighborhood or an area that you've been looking at, and you're going to go start adding properties to create a list. So if I'm driving this neighborhood right here, I'm going to label my list Gandy Gardens. That means that's the subdivision, and I'll probably put today's date on it. So to add the property to a list and to create a list, I'll just click on add. It's going to pop up with this box, and then I can actually either put it in an existing property list or I can create a new one. So I'm going to create a new one, and I'm going to call this Gandy Gardens. Subdivision. I'll just write and maybe put today's date, which is what's the day? 17th? Yep. Or 16th. Today's the 16th.
16th.
Thank you. All right. Once I do that, I'm just going to say confirm. Now, if you're working in an area that you've already worked before, but you're not sure if you've added this property or not, or you're not paying attention to the little check mark that tells you that you've added it, always click on exclude properties already added. That way you don't duplicate. Okay, so always use this when you're doing it, when you're starting a new list or you're got a lot of properties and you're farming in the same area. So use this button. But I'm just going ahead and say confirm. It's going to go ahead and process. Once it's added to the list that I just created, it's going to jump up and say details. At that point, I can actually go to the list and do further research on the property, or I can continue driving down the road, which that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So maybe I'll go down to this one and I like this one, and I'm going to go ahead and it tells me all the information, guys. Last updated 2 months ago. This is a company owned property. Company owned simply means that somebody, an entity, or somebody that had an LLC, S Corp, or whatever corporation they have, purchased this property in their name, and it's a non-owner occupied, and it's an out-of-state owner. So somebody from wherever, maybe Ohio, bought this property and they're using it for a rental and or an Airbnb. So that's information you want to know. It tells right here, look, this is the name of it. So it's like a entity or a corporation. They just call it the FKH single family C1. All right. So anyway, I want to go ahead and add that to the list. I'm going to click on add, and I'm going to go down to Gandy Gardens because it's all the way down here. And I'm going to go ahead and add it to that list. And I'm going to say confirm. And as I continue to go, I can continue to add properties as I go down. Shannon, you got a question? Shannon.
Yes, I do, Barry.
Hey.
So I have just a quick question. When you have a property already in your list, something you said kind of triggered me to remember I've run into this. Like I have a pre-foreclosure auction 30 days out list, right? And I'm going back in that list wanting to check on the updated auction date because, sometimes they move them back, they change, they delete them. I'm having trouble finding when I go to the property detail that's already in a list, the auction date, but I see that when I do my searches, when I first got the property. Is there a way to do that, to check on that?
So when you go back into the list, you update it, you want to see the updated information about the property as far as the auction dates and stuff?
So I add a property to a pre-foreclosure list. I go to the list, Bader pre-foreclosures. I pull up the property. I pull up the details on the property. I'm not seeing an auction date under all that detail anymore, where there was an auction date when I pulled it on my original search. Is it there somewhere? Can you maybe pull up an example and show me where I should be looking? Maybe I'm just not seeing it or looking in the right spot.
Yeah, I'll take a look at one of my lists, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Or when you can, if you need to finish this first.
Yes,
I
let me
just
finish this up.
stuck my hand up while I was thinking of it before I forgot.
No problem, no
One
problem.
of those recurring things that happens and it's like, oh, I need to figure this out. All right, thanks.
I got you. Okay. All right, guys. So back to the driving for dollars. You know, you can add as many properties as you want on the list. Once you're done with the last property and you want to look at the list, let's say let me add another property because I don't want just one property in there. I just want a couple. So I'm going to add a couple in there. That one's already in there. I just did that one. Never mind. There we go. That one. And that one. So at least I got a couple of properties in there that we can actually look at because I'm going to use that to do the skip tracing and all that good stuff. Okay. All right. So once you got your last property in and you want to, go back to your office, your home office, whatever, and you want to do a skip trace on it, what you want to do is you can go back up to here where it says my properties. That's your property list. Or if you're back on the home page, back on your desktop right here, your dashboard, excuse me, you can go right here where it says view and search my existing property list. So if you click on it, it's going to take you to your property list. It's always going to show you the last one you added first. Okay. Now you can change it by sorting date created. You can go sort by ascending, like the name, right? What it'll do, start from A, B, B, C, D, all the way down. Or you can do the count, like from the lowest. And then you can change it from descending to ascending, all that good stuff, okay? Let me go ahead and change that back. There you go. All right, so we have our list. And what we want to do is we want to click on it and we want to open it up. Now we got properties there. There's a feature on here that's enabled on my account that you could actually enable yourself that will automatically put pictures from Google on here. It starts to populate after you create the list and it starts going through it over time. Or you can just actually click on get photo and click here and get a photo. That's good for when you're ever going to do a postcard. So I'll click on these. I like to see what I'm doing. Okay. All right. So we have 4 properties, 4 pictures, and we got information on everything. There are 2 views to this. Okay. This is what we call the card view. And then we have what we call the list view. When we click on list view, it's the same information, guys. It's just looks a different way, right? Everything is the same. It's just a different view of the information. I prefer the card view. Some people prefer the list view. It's your choice. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to skip trace these. So this is the skip tracing part. Okay. Let me hide this floating control. When you skip trace properties with the DealDriven app, you're generally going to have 2 versions of it. Now, we have the free owner lookup. Okay. And for free owner lookup, it's just a free skip trace, right? It's only skip tracing for phone numbers that are associated with the property owner. So when you click on that, it's going to skip trace everything that's selected. Then we have this one right here, which is the owner email phone lookup. We call it the instant skip trace, and I didn't mean to do that. Let me click on this. Which actually, when I do that, it's going to actually skip trace these properties in a matter of seconds. But you got to have credits in order to do this. And you purchase the credits within the app itself, and you'll know how many credits you have up here or on your dashboard. It'll show you. So I'm going to show you what a free skip trace looks like. I'm just going to do the first two. I'm going to select those and I'm going to click on it. It's going to tell me free skip trace on 2 properties. I'm going to say yes. And what happens is it'll turn yellow, and that means it's pending. It usually takes anywhere from 24 to 48 hours just to get phone numbers associated with that. That's why it's called the free. It takes a little bit of time. If I want to get it instantly, let me skip on this one, these two. I'm going to check these. And I'll go ahead and skip trace those. And what that does is it tells me how many properties I'm skip tracing, how many credits it's going to consume, how many I have available, and what it's going to take overall to do these two. Now, there's a special note down here that says each skip trace consumes 1/3 of a credit only if it verifies an email address, a mailing address, or phone number. If it confirms one or all 3 of those, then it will actually charge you 1/3 of a credit for each property. But if it does not confirm any of that, it's not going to charge you for it. So if you don't get any information, no phone number, if you don't get an email address, you don't get an owner mailing address, then it won't charge you the 1/3 of a credit. Okay. So I'm going to click on that. It's going to say it's running in the background. I'll say okay. And if you want to see it, just click on refresh. And I got 1. So it did not confirm anything with this one, but it did with this one. And so I have phone numbers where I can mobile call or text, landline, and I have email address associated with the property owner, Christine A. Bean. So that's pretty quick right there. Basil, what you have?
When I try to skip trace, I don't get emails, and I'm a full partner. I don't know whether they don't send me emails, only phone numbers. Is there any way you can talk to the tech, check why I don't get emails, even with the 48 hours? I don't know why.
So when you're doing your skip tracing, are you doing the free one or are you doing the one with the credits?
The one with the both, but the one with the credit and the one with the free one.
Okay, so you're doing both of them.
Yes, because the free one takes maybe 48 hours, right?
Yeah.
When they send it back, I will only see phone number. It said it's 0 emails.
Right.
I don't know why they don't include email.
So when you look at this, okay, you see where it says free owner phone lookup.
Yes.
If you're using this one, it's only looking for the phone.
Okay.
If you do this one, the one that requires credits, then if there's an email address associated with the property owner, then it's going to pull it with the phone. So free owner phone lookup, that's all it's looking for, phone numbers. This one is looking for both.
Yes, but they said my account are supposed to get both. I don't know whether it's not. I don't. You can find out or talk to the tech. I don't know why I don't get emails.
So do you have both of these up on there when you pull it?
Yes.
Okay, so when you click on it, if you do the free, it's going to start out like this. And then when it skip traces, it'll turn green if there's a number.
Yeah.
If you're doing the credit one, it'll look like this and it'll be instantly. And you'll see if there's an email address or anything associated with it. This does not send you an email to your email address.
Yes, it does.
That's what, yeah, it does it. It doesn't always do it. Okay. So
okay,
when you're doing
why is it called instant? It's something I can get right away.
right. Yeah.
With the credit, right? I don't know, man. Somebody asked me to talk to the tech if I'm allowed to get it because of my account is general partner. I mean, full partner. I'm supposed to get the email, or I don't need to get email. I have to pay for it. I don't know why I'm not getting it.
All right, so do me a favor.
Yeah.
Have you sent an email to support at DealDriven?
I did.
Okay.
Maybe
But
it's going
when
to
you guys make a note for me to reach out, let me find out what's going on, okay?
I'm taking a note now, Barry.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Let me find out what's going on with you, okay?
All right. They have my information.
Yeah,
Yes.
we got your
Yes, sir.
name. That's all we need.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we can look you up.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Bob, you have your hand up.
I do. Yes. Thank you, sir. So Marcia, you said, Marcia, I'm not sure. You said, where's the add button? I'm assuming you're talking about the add button because this was from a few minutes ago, whenever he was going over to show you a property. Would that be a correct assumption?
Come off the mute. Marsha. Yeah, unmute yourself so I can find out what you were talking about. What did it say in the chat?
She said she lost her picture.
Uh-huh. You must have turned the camera off.
Okay.
I
Well,
see
let's
you
go on.
right there.
I got one other. You want to go on to this other question? Oh, wait. Oh, there she is. Can you unmute, Marcia?
Yeah, unmute yourself.
If you put your cursor over your face, there should be you'll see a little microphone pop up down at the bottom. If you click on that red line, it should work. There we go.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, it was a few minutes ago, and I didn't see where you went to add.
Add a property to a list. Is that what
Yeah.
you're talking? Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. We got the delayed.
Yeah.
All right. So
Maybe it's a microphone.
yeah, that's no problem. So whenever you're out there driving, or even when you're going to create a list, as soon as you click on or tap on whatever it is, you see down here where it says add.
I lost you. I am really terrible at, at maneuvering this thing. Okay, I lost you. I have you. I don't have the app page.
You don't see the share screen, right?
All right.
So
Oh, wait a minute. I think I found it.
yeah, it's probably behind me.
No, it won't go up. That's okay. Why don't you go on to another one? I'm brand new today, so I'll be on the calls and
Okay.
I'll over stuff.
No problem. Just remember, when you're doing driving for dollars and you tap on the map for a property,
Yeah.
then there's going to be a blue property card that pops up that shows you the information. It has a property address and some other information on it.
Mhm.
And if you look in the lower left corner of that property card, you'll see a button that says add.
Oh, okay.
And then that's when you can add it to an existing list or create a new list.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
No. Okay. No problem.
Thank you.
Now,
Yes, sir.
so much. We got one more question in the chat, and that's a great question from Gabriel. How is yellow dot pre-foreclosure determined? I ran my friend's house and she was in pre-foreclosure, which I know for a fact is not true. And if I could just throw that out there, Gabriel, a lot of times, well, actually, all of our information comes from the county clerk's office, basically. Am I right about that, Barry?
Yeah. Or county. Yeah. For public records.
Yeah, public records. So are there times when public records are wrong? I mean, I would say probably about, a lot. Yeah. But I mean, we're doing the best we can with the public records information. And some county clerks are a lot better than others, is what I've
Oh,
learned.
you can say that again.
After working with about 5 or 6 county clerks, I've learned that some county clerks are a lot more what can we say, industrious. They work a lot harder. I don't know. Is that a polite way to say it? I guess
That's a polite way to say it. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah.
Our government in action. Sorry, I had to chime in on that one.
Okay.
They're not all created equal. So, some information can get inputted incorrectly. And maybe that's at one point in time that property was in such of a state, pre-foreclosure at one point in time. So it does happen. That's why you always, no matter what the records say, you still always want to verify, because we try to get the best data that we possibly can, but it is public records, and you won't be able to find any app out there that's going to give you 100% real time data all the time. That's why you have to do a little research. That's why they, make us real estate investors, because, if one thing ain't working, you try another until you get what you're trying to get to. All right. So that's how you add a property doing the DealDriven app, using the DealDriven app on Driving for Dollars. Let me go back up to the dashboard. And let's say you want to create a list, like you want to go after pre-foreclosure, vacant properties, tax delinquencies, out-of-state owners, tired landlords. Well, you can do that with the DealDriven app by simply going here, search for property leads nationwide, or using the magnifying glass up here. Either way, click on it. And what it's going to do is going to take you to what we call the lead building search. And on the lead building search, all you simply have to do is you can put an address, you can put a city, you can put a zip code, or you can put a county where it says enter location, and that's where it's going to go and start doing the search. Okay, so let's see. Is there such thing as a Mayberry for real?
Yes, and Andy lives there.
Yes.
I'm trying to see if it's in Colorado.
Trust me, it's somewhere here. It's my name for it.
Oh, your name for it. Okay.
No, there ain't no Mayberry. All right, so I'm going to put down a random city. I'm going to put down, I haven't done this one in a while, Detroit. The dirty D. All right. So when you click on the city, the county, the zip code, wherever it is, what happens is the map opens up, and by default, it's going to do a 20-mile search radius around the center of whatever you put in there. So in this case, it's the center of downtown Detroit. And when I zoom out, you'll see the 20-mile radius, the dark circle going around. That is a 20-mile radius. Okay. Now this can be adjusted with this slide right here. Either you can go up 1 mile, 0 miles, all the way up to 50 miles. But by default, it's going to be 20 miles. Okay. So let's say you want to get a big list of something, use the 20-mile radius. If you're trying to concentrate on Southfield, then what you want to do is you can actually do two things. You can take this and you can move it over to Southfield. It's the center of Southfield right there. And then you can adjust your slide this way. So you're within 1 mile, 2 miles, 5 miles of that area. Or you can use the polygon, which I like the best, is when you click right here, and let's say Southfield, and you want to stay between Birmingham and Oak Park. Well, then you can draw a polygon. So that's simply just tapping on the map. Right there, draws a line right there. all the way over here, and you can make it as big as you want, as wide as you want, as narrow as you want, and this box will move around, okay? And so when you do that and you say done drawing, it's going to search for properties within this square or this shaded area. Right now, it's saying there's 1,000 or 10,000 properties or more. All right. Now, I can actually say show the results, and it's going to show me all the different kinds of houses. But with the lead building search, you want to actually filter it down to what you're trying to look for. So when you click on continue to select search type, you got all these different things you can do. So the ones that are on top, it says select from the predefined search. These are predefined, meaning they already have the filters built into them. All you got to do is pick a category, and it's going to filter everything out based on what we already put in here. Or if you like me, you want to do individual types, or you want to stack them, then you can pick either, individual. So if I'm looking for pre-foreclosures in that area, I'll just click on pre-foreclosures. It's going to tell me there's 259 within that little radius, a little square that we're looking at. Okay. If I'm looking for vacant properties, I'm going to click right here. It says there's 600. But what if I want to know, okay, what about out-of-state owners that have vacant properties? Well, I can stack it. So I can click on it, and it's going to show me that there's 1646. When you see this right here, it's going to say any and all. And what that simply means is this. Any of these 1,600 properties, they're either vacant or out-of-state owner, or they may be both. But more than likely, they're just one or the other. But if you're trying to get vacant out-of-state owners, every property, then you click on all, and you see it dropped it down to 41. All 41 of those properties fit both of these categories. Okay, so you can actually stack these to fit whatever it is that you're looking for. But when you're doing the pre-foreclosures, guys, there's no need to stack it, because it's going to pull everything. Anything that's in there it's under pre-foreclosure, whether it's a single family home, duplex, triplex, quad, condo, townhouse, it's going to pull all that. So you don't need to stack the pre-foreclosures. So once you determine what category you got, you're going to see over here, it says you're searching for single family homes. Well, you can go to additional filters. You can fine tune your search, right? You can break it down by, okay, I got single family homes. What about if there's any townhouses in there? Nothing's changed. You can see the number hasn't changed. So we know that's not in there. What about condos? Yep, there's some condos in there because the number changed. All right, let's go to duplex, nothing, triplex, nothing, quads, nothing. And if you're in the Northeast, row houses, you can put those in there. Some people who are not a part of our partner program, you can look at apartments, and you can look at residential land. So you can actually, fine tune this. Now, when you're looking at pre-foreclosures, you typically want to try to get something with equity in it. But if you're able to do other exit or acquisition strategies, then you don't necessarily need to put the equity in there. You can just let it run. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. This thing is chirping at me. So equity, if you're going to do it, at least make sure you have at least 20 to 30% equity in it. You can always add it at least, and all the way up to at most. Then you got your valuations. The last time this was sold, if you want to break it down by bedrooms and bathrooms, you can. Pre-foreclosures, notice of default. Now, Miss Mayberry, RFD. Renee.
Hi. Sorry, I had you guys minimize so I could actually see the screen.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
All right, so I got a list of pre-foreclosures right here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If I do the notice of default, I'm gonna say anything after today's date, there's not any. But what if I do anything before? Let me just do this. Anything before today's date.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay.
There's
Because I
zero.
did try this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's still not any right there. So let me go back. So you can always go back a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, however you want to go. Generally, you want to go back no further than 3 months,
That's
90
what I
days.
thought. Okay.
So if I click on it, it's going to show me that after the 1st of December, there was 28 properties that got a notice of default. And if you don't know what a notice of default is basically individuals missed their mortgage payments, right? They
Right.
get a notice from the bank or the financial institution. Hey, you missed your payment.
Mhm.
All right. They'll do it the first month, next month. Hey, you missed your payment. Third month. Hey, you missed your payment. After that, then they're going to start putting an auction date on it to get you, motivated to go ahead and either catch up on it or sell the house or remedy whatever the arrears are, so you don't go to foreclosure. If you don't, then they're going to take your house. So,
Okay. Okay. So
All
I
right.
was on the right track with that. Yep.
yeah, they're on the right track. Now, to your point, if I just say show results of those 28 properties, okay, it's going to pull a list and you can see auction. All right. And you'll see this auction date is coming up. Okay.
Hmm.
But if you ever wanted to see, well, when was this last updated? If you go up to here, you'll see on your list.
And I do see that. I actually
Okay.
do actually see that. But if you're calling on me now, if we could just go into it, if I'm not stepping on anybody's toes, that would be great. Because I was a little lost when I saw this one. It says when I pull it up, like the one you're looking at, number 3,
Mm-hmm.
pre-foreclosure. Okay, it shows me that in the initial stage. I
Mhm.
add it to my list. And then it tells me that the notice of default was August 2022, but it's in that pre color, you know? So I just want to make sure, like the address that I'm looking at right now, if we could just go into it, if nobody minds. It's the
Hold
first
on.
one is 2651 North Raleigh.
Wait a minute. So is it
Actually, yeah, it would be in Raleigh, like one of the Carolinas,
okay?
in Denver.
Let's see if I can find
2651. I think you missed a digit.
There you go.
2651. Yep. There you go.
North Raleigh. Is that how you spell Raleigh?
Hmm.
Okay.
And it would be Denver, the one that would show for Denver.
Is that
That's
street or
showing. Okay, so it's 2651 North Raleigh, and that's Denver, and the zip code is going to be 80212.
is it a street or is it a boulevard or do we not know?
It really doesn't. You know what? Maybe street needs to be added.
There you go. I got south. I got this one. So
That
I'm
one,
gonna
yeah.
go with that one.
2651. Yep, that's it.
May not show me on here.
Hmm.
I might have to go to the other search.
Oh, that's right. It was so when I did the polygon, like where you are right now with the map, I just did the search and I only clicked the pre-foreclosures. And oddly enough, it started out until I clicked that with like 1400. And then when I did that, only like 3 or 1 came up. And that was one of the addresses. But I think you're in a different area where I did that.
Let me see if it's on here first.
Okay.
Yes, that's pre.
Yes, there we go.
Last updated 3 days ago. Let's see what
Mhm.
we got. All right. So the auction date was February.
Right, but it's still showing up in my search as a pre-foreclosure, like, it almost indicates that it's maybe 4 months out, 3 months out, something like that,
Yeah, so when you see that and it doesn't have the red auction on it, that generally is an indication that either it got canceled, pushed back, or they may be working on a loan modification or something. So you still want to try to reach out to them just to find out
Okay.
what the status is. Don't even if you see something that's back in August,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, double check, because a lot of times people did when the COVID was happening, they did the forbearances. A lot of that stuff is starting to catch up since the
Mhm.
forbearance is over. So a lot of that stuff is starting to catch up, but the record is still indicating, hey, this is a pre-foreclosure, even though it was back in 2021 and the
Mhm.
auction was in 2021, but it's still
Okay.
showing it, especially if the date that it was updated, if it was updated within the last 20 days or less, then you pretty much know that, hey, this is something I need to check out.
Okay, so I shouldn't assume that, not assume, but I should go ahead and make that call to this couple and,
Yes.
just see if but it wouldn't be an embarrassing thing for them for me to reach out, is what I'm trying to convey here.
Exactly. No, it
Okay.
wouldn't be. No.
Okay.
When you
And
just,
then go ahead.
I was gonna say, you just simply say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, how you doing? All that good stuff, yada
Mhm.
yada. Say, listen, the reason I'm calling you is because every week or every month I get a list of properties that indicate that they're in some kind of foreclosure. Are you aware of that?
Okay, thank you for that lead in, because I
Yeah.
do have the scripts with the package that I purchased to get to the application that I purchased as
Mhm.
well. So that
Mhm.
helps. And if we could, since we're there, crunch those numbers, because I'm looking for that maximum allowable. And I just want to be sure of being in the ballpark of what is good for not only the homeowner, but when I finally meet my buyer, there's that room to get that profit. Okay, I see you nodding. Go ahead.
Yeah. No problem. So since we're here and you're using the DealDriven app,
Mhm.
first thing you want to do is you want to verify how many bedrooms and bathrooms that they have. Okay.
That's kind
Uh,
of tricky, by the way. So yeah, let's go over that one. Yeah.
Well, typically what you can do is you can pull up Zillow,
I did.
and
Thank
what
you.
did it say?
Well, it was telling me, based on what we're looking at right now,
Mhm.
the square footage is 672 based on this record. But when I go to Zillow, it's telling me much more than that.
Okay.
So that helps, but it makes the comparables kind of challenging for the new eyes.
Well, you can edit that information, right?
Yes, I've
Yeah.
actually got their phone number. I'm hopefully going to be able to call them this weekend.
Okay. So, and everybody can take a note of this. Let me disable this floating thing. So Zillow's got it at this estimate of 591,
Mhm.
672 square foot. So it's this house right here
Mhm.
that ain't got no good picture. And
Yeah.
it's between these two houses. All right. So one of the things you can do is you can scroll down here and look to see what's sold. And so we're in a market where the property, some of them, the values are declining.
Right.
All right. So this is the closest one that sold, number 4.
4 months ago. I looked at
Yeah.
that earlier today to be prepared. So I wanted to make sure I was looking at the right thing. So yes.
And so it's close to the subject property right here. So it's pretty much on the same street, same neighborhood.
Mhm.
Cool. All right. So then we know we got 591. Now, if you go over here to the DealDriven app,
Mhm.
And by the way, everybody, you can edit this information to help you when you do your comparables. If you click on the edit button and you notice that the bathrooms and bedrooms are off, you can change that. You change the bedrooms and save it.
Right.
Okay. And what that
Right.
does is it readjusts when you pull comparables
Okay,
in the DealDriven app.
that's helpful.
But also, you're going to see this right here in the middle, the financials called the valuation.
Mhm.
And anytime you see something that has a 90 to 98% valuation confidence score,
Right.
then
That's a good one.
it's a good one.
Yeah.
But always remember, all right, because Zillow said 591.
Mm-hmm.
That last property sold for 5, whatever it was, that's
Mm-hmm.
close to it. So this number right here may be off because of the switch in the market. And it's supposed to be updated. I have seen it where it's totally wrong. But generally, you look at it, okay, I see that. But you really want to find out, just go over here to pull comparables.
Mm-hmm.
Click on that. And by default, it's going to do a 2-mile search radius around our subject property, which is right here. And you're also the last 18 months. Well, this market
Yes.
is shifting, so you always want to slide this back to 3 months.
I
You want
did
to try the
that.
last 90 days, right?
Right. Oh,
And then-
90 days.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I go to 6 or 3 months. So yes. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so last 90 days, 3 months. If you don't have anything, then you go to 6 months. Okay.
Mhm.
If you're in a rural area, you can go to a year, but I try to stay away from those areas.
Yeah.
All right, so you got a 2-mile radius. You always want to be as close to the subject property as possible.
Right.
Okay, so you want to pull the radius search in and you try to stay within a 1/2 mile or less of the subject property.
Yes.
Make sure you don't cross any major roads. Okay. Those
Mm-hmm.
comps won't count because they're generally going to be in a different neighborhood, whatever.
Right. Thumbs up. Got it.
Yep. Like these two right here, they're across 26th Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Probably won't even use those.
Right.
And you got this one, right?
Right.
2-1. And it says they just sold for $875.
Okay.
And what's the square footage on this one? It's a little bit
A
bigger.
little bit bigger, yeah.
little
And that
bit
was,
bigger.
yeah, I was having trouble with that because
Yeah.
I'm like, the comparisons are barren
Yeah.
in some cases.
Mm-hmm. So you want to look at something that's really closer to that one, and it would be this one and probably this one, even though they're close enough.
They're close, but the acreage and then the square footage and playing around with that number. What I've been taught by looking at the tutorials that I purchased was 50 to we're talking about square footage, right? 50 to 100, give or take.
We usually do 200 plus or minus.
Oh, good to know. Thank you.
200 plus
That
or minus.
helps. Yeah, that helps. Yeah.
So I'm gonna choose these two right here, and you can see that shows you the average sale price right there.
Right.
Okay, so this price right here in Zillow's estimate, there's a difference in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no biggie though. So whenever, where do most people go to find out how much their house costs or how much their house is worth? Where do most
Right.
people go?
Well, the tax assessor right?
No.
I'm sorry, what was the question again? I want to make sure.
I said, where do most people go when they want to find out what their house is worth?
Oh, appraisers.
No.
Oh, sorry. I got more to
Where
do.
do you go if you wanted to find out how much your car is worth? If you wanted to sell it, where would you go to find out what the value is? Kelly Blue Book, right?
Subdivision.
It's totally lagged really badly.
Okay. Did you hear what I said?
If you could repeat it, if you can hear me clearly, it just lagged a little bit. The
Yeah,
connection.
I was just giving you an example. I said, if you're going to sell your car and you wanted to get a price on how much it's worth to sell it, where would you normally look?
You look at the book, the for cars. You look at that.
Valuation,
Yeah.
that blue book, the blue
Yeah,
book.
Kelly
Yeah.
Blue Book.
Yeah.
Well,
Kelly
most
Blue.
people who are looking to see how much their house is valued at, they go to Zillow
Mhm.
or they go to
That's
Redfin.
record. That's
So-
record.
Yeah, so that's where they're gonna go generally look at.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And that's what you're probably going to get most of the time. My house is worth blah, blah, blah. That's what the Zillow said. And you can ask them, hey, where'd you get that valuation from? And they'll generally tell you Zillow. Okay.
Okay.
So we know that the possibility of the house selling for 679 maybe kind of high. So we know this number, we can keep this in the back of our head, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if they actually told you, they're like, well, I want $591,000 for my house, then you know they went here. Okay, so what you're
Okay.
going to do is when you're looking at this, we already know that this is a possibility that this house will sell at 600 plus.
Mm-hmm.
It's a possibility. You still got to do your work on it. So what I normally do is I would take the difference between this and what DealDriven had, and I would
Mhm.
split it in half,
Oh, good. Thank you.
right?
Yeah.
And I would take that number and apply my formula to it. So
Gotcha.
70% of whatever that is, that split that you made between the 590 and the 670, I'd
Mhm.
say let's take it at 630 or maybe 620, somewhere in
Mm.
there.
Okay.
I would take 70% of that. That would be the number that I have in my head. Okay. When I go to the property, from there, I would start to look to see if there's any repair cost that needs to be, done. And then I would subtract that from that 70% number, and that would be my initial cash offer.
Now, let me ask you this.
Mhm.
I'm just going to assume because Mayberry is considered like hell haven. Don't know
Mm.
how to say that any other way, but they have an extra cost for roof repairs. So
Mhm.
I want to throw that like 0.70% or 7.0, and then add like what I kind of estimated, $1,800 on top of that, and then I back that out, and then that is going to be my maximum allowable offer. And I want to make sure that when I do that calculation, if I've got it right, that
Mhm.
I have that wiggle room for not only the seller to get and not lose all of their equity, but the buyer to make, make it be a good offer for the buyer.
Mhm. So, from what you're telling me, you're in a lot of different programs, aren't you?
I'm in 3,
Okay,
but I
so-
decided to stick with Julie right now because it's overwhelming, and
Yes.
math is not my forte. I'm
Yeah.
dyslexic.
Well,
So I'm just
me
trying to
too.
get the basic thing
Yeah.
down so that my
Yeah, just-
mind can click on that what you're showing me now. It registers, and I
Mhm.
never have to repeat this question and take up so much time for these classes today.
No problem. So no, that's the most thing, we have a lot of things that we see. We call it the shiny object syndrome. You got this, you got that, and all those things are great.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to making an offer to a property owner, it's really silly. It's really simple. You don't have to do all that stuff. That's why you have due diligence. If you're able to get a contract and get it signed,
Mhm.
then that's when you start to really do the work. Breaking it
Okay.
down to what the comps are saying, what is this estimate of repair? You're just really giving a number to see if you can get them in the ballpark, get in our ballpark of what they're doing. So, 620, 70% of 620 is, and I got to pull up my little calculator because
Yeah, let's put that on the screen so I
400
can
and-
capture this. Yeah, that would be great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you guys for your patience.
What's the number again? Let me do it for you quick.
okay, yeah, 70% of 620.
Okay, 620, 70% of that will be 434.
Yep,
And then I'm
434,000.
just guesstimating that roof cost.
Well,
Because it is
whatever
an
the
old
repairs
house.
are, not just the roof, but everything. So the easiest way to do it, so you're a part of our partnership, right?
Me?
Yes.
Not yet.
Okay,
I'm still learning and tightly budget.
no problem. So the easiest way to do it, there's you can go on to YouTube and go to Jerry Norton, and you can go and pull up his rehab in 30, rehab calculator in 30 seconds.
Okay, I do have that. And
Okay.
because it doesn't really match up with the valuation that I see sometimes with some of the properties on this app, it causes confusion because it's very automated. I can
Oh,
even, change and put in what I hope to get as a fee
I'm not
along
talking
with the
about that one.
costs.
I'm not
Oh,
talking about
sorry.
that one.
Sorry.
No, I'm talking about the repair. There's a repair sheet that he has based off of square footage and the size of the square footage of the house. So if it's like from zeros to 1,500 square foot, if it's a light, medium, or heavy rehab, there's
Mhm.
pricing right there, just to give you a guesstimate.
Okay.
So you subtract that from your number. So you would subtract it from the 434, and that's your offer. That's going to be
Okay.
your offer. If you're
Okay.
trying to wholesale it, then you got to add your wholesale fee in that number as well. So let's say 434 is our number, and we see there's 20K in repair, so we're at 424. And let's say you want to make 10,000 off of that, then you're going to be at 414. Start 15% below that 414 and work your way up to where you are to that 414. That's where you do it.
Okay.
Quick, fast, no busting your brain, anything like that.
Okay.
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 That's
And
all.
one more thing. I'm sorry, you guys. So I might live in the city that I am in, but I am not familiar with it. I'm a transplant. So when I do that initial search for like the radius, I did see that you can scroll that button down. I've been kind of stuck at the 20 miles. But if I don't know the area, like one search that I did, I typed in just Denver, Colorado, and I kind of know the working class, some of them areas, but how do I move that? Because when I did the initial search, it was like 1,400 came up. And then when I just clicked the pre-foreclosure button, it dropped down to either 0 or 1 or maybe 4.
Okay. So whenever you're
So if I
doing,
don't know the areas, okay, go ahead.
yeah. Well, first and foremost, if you're in a new city, first thing you want to do is find a local RIA or investor meetup and go to those. Okay. Start networking with people. Find out, where they're looking at, what areas are the hottest areas. Just ask people. But also when you're driving around, some of the indicators are a lot of buildings or a lot of built up or construction work is going on right there where they're building houses, neighborhoods where you see a lot of the roll off dumpsters where people are doing rehabs. Those are hot areas. So, and don't put, when you do the lead building search, don't put the addresses in there. Okay. You can, but for instance, Federal Heights.
Okay.
It's been a minute since I've been to Denver, but I know at one point in time, this area right here, there was a lot of activity going on.
Okay.
So what I would do is just click on draw the polygon and just draw my borders. I would go from this street down to here, right? At that shaded area, done drawing. I got 10 properties. I know why, because it's pre-foreclosure. It's already got the things in it, but there's the pre-foreclosures right there.
Show the results, right?
And it's going to show me the results and where they are and all the information. If you want a bigger list for that, then just simply go back to the box,
right,
and just make it bigger.
Okay.
And then when you're done, just say done drawing and see if it increases. If it's 15, or you could just take
Well,
the
you
whole
did
top.
better than I did, for goodness sakes, because I was doing it all wrong. I see what you're doing there. I won't take up too much of your time because you didn't actually answer my questions. So thank you everyone for your patience. Just thank you. I can't think of anything else. I did have another property, but I want to start with the one on Raleigh, and I'll just see what happens this weekend. But you did help a lot. I just want to give more people a little bit more time to ask their questions.
I do have a question on when you're comparing, if you're doing comps, the pictures, the photos of the interior of the house, if it's sold, don't come up. You know, don't you really need to compare apples to apples if you're, so you get a true you get a true value?
You do when you first when you actually get it under contract, okay?
Yeah.
It is good if you do have the ability to see the inside pictures. Like if you're on Zillow and you look at the sold properties, that's going to give you an idea, especially if it's sold off the MLS. You generally going to get pictures to see what it looked like.
Yeah, but the sold properties they used to, but they don't give you pictures of the interior anymore. And wouldn't you do more of a comparison instead of just doing Zillow? Go to Realtor or Redfin or a couple other ones and kind of do your due diligence. I know on some of the sites, or I forget which one it was, there are ones that say pending and do give you interior photos. But most of them, now that they're sold, they don't give you an idea of what the interior looked like. So you're not getting a true idea of the value.
Great question. And so this is what I say. One of the biggest things that I learned, and I had to, get my head wrapped around this, is that in order to make an offer, you don't need all that. That's why you have due diligence. You're really basing your offer on what a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in this neighborhood that's plus or minus the square foot of whatever I'm looking at, trying to get what they sold for. Okay. So if they sold, there's like 4 or 5 of them, they sold for between 300 and 325, then we know the ARV, the after repair value, is around 315, somewhere in the middle. And I'm going to take my number and calculate from there. It's always good to have pictures, of course, because when you go into the property, and you're talking to the property owner, but you've already sold what a sold property look like that's fixed up, and you do have those pictures, that's a great negotiation tool for you. Or it's also just, look, a house that sold for $300,000 in your neighborhood. When I start to look at that, they have updated kitchens and blah, blah, blah. And you can use that as a negotiation tool, but you don't really need it. You're just going to make them an offer. And if they take it, that's great. Your job is not to go convince people. Your job is to actually help them solve their problem. And if you look at it that way, then it cuts down on a lot of unnecessary back and forth sometimes. And the biggest thing is we think, oh, well, you know what? I need to get it close to what everybody sold it for, everybody else is buying for. Yeah. But if that person's been trying to sell their house for a while, they haven't fixed it up, but they're trying to compare their house to the house next door that they actually fixed it up, and they try to price it at that, eventually they're going to see that they're not priced right. And if you did a good job of building rapport with them, or at least leaving them with a smile on their face after they talk to you, and you leave them your information, the follow-up, you can follow up with them, or they may call you. It's happening now. This happened to me 4 months later, 5 months later, a year later, somebody say, hey, you remember me on such and such? Yeah, I think so. I don't know. So what I'm saying is, it's good to have all that information, but sometimes when you try to find information about a property, it tends to slow you down. It causes the analysis, we call it analysis paralysis, because you're trying to make sure it's a perfect offer, it's the perfect numbers. Comps are not a perfect science. It comes over time. After you do it long enough, then you can kind of just go in like boom, boom, and make the offer. What we do at Partner Driven, which is not a partner driven call, but once we get a property under contract, we always 95% of the time employ realtors or get realtors to go in and give us a better look at it and better numbers. So that way we can actually adjust, or, okay, we're right on spot and we go with it.
So there should
How
be a
much is the cost for the
contingency. I
partner?
would, I would say there would be a contingency. You would need it, some kind of contingency. When you're putting in the offer, in other words.
Oh, yeah, you always have your due diligence period.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Always.
thanks.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Oh, we're running a little over, but there was one guy who wanted me to run his, was that Thurman? Thurman, was that you?
Yes,
You had a property?
yes.
Okay, let's do that one, and then it'll be the last thing we do today. Let me
All
go ahead and
right.
get over here to this right here. Come on. All right. What's the address?
330
330.
Zeppelin, Zeppelin Avenue,
Where's that at?
Baltimore, Maryland.
Be more. Okay. Okay. You wanna show me? No, nope, nope. Did I spell avenue right? Nope. 330 Zeppelin Avenue, Baltimore.
Mhm.
Why is it not
And
showing?
the zip code is 21225.
21225. There you go. It's saying Brooklyn though.
Yeah, no, it's like a little this division in that area.
Oh, okay. So this is it right here?
I can't see it on my screen. You still have the
Yeah,
point and click search on the screen.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that's the ad. There it goes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Have you been to this property?
No, I haven't.
Have you
I've
talked to the
talked-
property owner?
Yeah, I just talked to him today.
Okay. Do you have an appointment to go see it?
No, not yet. I'm gonna be putting in a contract, and I'm trying to see if there are any contracts on DealDriven, and I couldn't find any.
Are you a partner or you're a non-partner?
Partner.
You don't know how to request a contract with us?
No, I looked, but I didn't see where to do that.
Well, if you're a partner with Partner Driven, then you don't. You have
Don't
to.
what?
You do have to request a contract.
Okay.
I'll give you.
I don't.
I'll give it to you. Hold on.
Okay. All right.
All right. Let me go over here and see. There you go. Click. Go. Glow. Things moving slow today. Zillow don't like it when you copy and paste stuff.
Yeah.
All right. We don't know how many bedrooms, we don't know how many bathrooms. Do you know any bedrooms or bathrooms on this one, or you're going to it blind too?
He said it's a 3-2, and
3-2.
they had converted the basement to a one bath, one bed in the basement.
Okay. So I'm gonna change this. Re2. All right, I'm gonna save it. All right. Now, you see the estimated valuation is around 270
Yes.
with a 98% valuation score.
Yes.
We go over here. You see it's like a 186.
Right.
Right. So if I scroll down to see what's sold, that's pretty much in the so this one was fixed up. It sold for 295. So we know this one is brand new. It's a comparable square footage. Maybe one or less bathrooms, but still. So we know 295. Then we got another one that sold that probably wasn't fixed up for 130. Okay, that's more like the as is. This one was sold. It's a 5-bedroom, more square footage, so those don't count. So we're looking at this one right here, which is 295. Similar square footage. It is in the same block.
Yeah.
So we know that's 295. Go back to the DealDriven app. We're looking at 270, 275. So we're in the ballpark.
Okay.
But whenever I see stuff like that and it's that close, I typically will do the same thing. I will probably split it, the difference, and say 280 is my ARV. Okay.
Okay.
And
All
so
right.
for the 280, I would take 70% of the 280.
Okay.
And that's what I call my base number. That's the number I'm gonna have in my head. So when I go to the appointment and I'm looking around, if I see any repairs that need to be done, I'll make a note of that and use the chart that we give you guys in the university that has it broken down by square footage and stuff, and just use that as a guesstimate. And then I subtract that number from my base number, and that's what I get my offer on. That's the offer that I would make, cash. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Let me see here. Let me make sure. I don't know how many people in here are partners or not, so I'm just going to send this directly to you so you'll have it. So when you send request a contract, you go to this email address.
Wait a minute. I can't see the screen.
I haven't sent it to you yet.
Oh, okay.
Barry, this thing came out to 196,000. Does he know the repair cost, the repairs, to subtract it from 196?
No, we don't know yet. He hasn't been there yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was giving you the formula. So then you take it from there. So he gave you the number, Thurman, 196, and then subtract the repairs, and that's going to be your cash offer.
Okay.
Okay. And I just sent you a direct in the
Deals
chat. You see in the chat?
Okay. Yeah. Deals at at Partner Driven.
Bruh. I didn't want you to say, that's why I sent it to you directly.
Okay. Okay.
Because I don't know who's a partner, who's not a partner, and I want people to start sending emails to request a contract.
I'm a partner. I don't know.
I know you are. Not everybody on here is.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what you do. You put that address, the property address in the subject line and send it to that email address and to request a contract, okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay, Barry, please, a minute. When do you use the 65%? Is that lower or higher? Higher. When do you use the 65%?
It really depends on the area you're living in.
Okay, which is the 70s better or less?
Well, 70 is generally the standard across the United States.
Okay.
But you know, some places are down to 50.
Oh, okay.
Right.
That's the low end area, right?
Well, it's the part of the country or the state or whatever you're in. Yeah.
Okay.
So sometimes it's, you know, and that's the thing about learning your area and actually networking with people, especially people who are at these RIAs or these meetups and they're doing fix and flips. You can ask them questions like, hey, you know, what percentage of the ARV do you want your property at? What do you normally look at? And they'll tell you, right? You'll learn. But it's really just based on the area. That's why I just do a general of 70%, because that's the general standard that's been around for a long time.
Okay, regardless of high end area or low end area, it doesn't matter. Use 70% to ballpark, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Dan.
So, yes, sorry. I paid the money for the app and I never got a link for the app, for the DealDriven app.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you send an email to support?
Do what?
Did you send an email to support?
I did, and I haven't gotten an answer. I work at a food packaging place here in Nashville, and I work that shift. So I've been trying to get through these courses I can with stuff. but I want the app so that I can start trying to learn how to maneuver it and all that good stuff.
Yeah, no problem. I got you. What's your last name, Dan?
Taylor.
Taylor.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, Dan, and put or tell me your email address so that's why they look it up.
Not a problem. Dan.Taylor72@gmail.com.
So I got dan.taylor72@gmail.com.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'll reach out to him and see what the problem is. Make sure they get it. Okay.
I greatly appreciate it.
Yes, sir. No problem.
I actually just wrote down his email, so I'll email him later.
Okay, you got it. Thanks, Chloe.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can you send me all those links for contracts and all other ones that I lost all mine, please? I'm a member. Oh, Jeff. All right. Go ahead and copy that. Let me stop the share. Let me pull up. Where is it at? Okay, Jeff. All right, I'm gonna get an email to you with those links, okay? I'll go ahead and put that in there.
Thanks, Barry.
Yes, sir. Get this. Move this out the way. All right, guys. Ran over a little bit on this. So for all those people who haven't tried the DealDriven app, if you like what you see, if Chloe will go ahead and drop the link in the chat again. It's a 7-day free trial. You could try it, and if you like it, it's simply $49 a month after that. For those who have been using it, I hope you're enjoying it. We continue to do these calls every Thursday. Normally it's Julie, but I step in every now and then. And for you, those people who are a part of our partnership, you always know that on Mondays, I do the DealDriven app call. So if you have any questions while you're using it, make sure you say those questions so you can ask them on calls such as these. But if nobody has any more questions, I'm going to go ahead and end this call. And you guys can have a great rest of the day. Has it got any more questions? Anybody else?
That helped me. That's what I've been waiting on it. So I thank you, and y'all have a great day, man.
All right, Dan. I'll make sure you get your link, okay?
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
Barry.
All right.